blaming others, blaming yourself. Why don't you start with that? You have everything you need within you. Want it or not, you are a human, and if you are a healthy, sane individual, you have to deal with emotions. Just because people don't know yet about you should not make you to believe that people don't need your service or that you're doing something wrong. You can choose consciously when to use your emotions and when to not. Just stop beating yourself up for not being the way you know you can become. If you know that you can become, means that you already are. Oh, this is gonna be painful. Real bosses don't let their emotions get in the way of business. It's business. Leave your personal feelings at the door. Never react emotionally to criticism. Analyze yourself to determine whether it is justified. If it is, correct yourself, otherwise go on about your business. Emotions have no place in business unless you do business with them. Okay, let's stop this nonsense. Let's stop this nonsense because we have a huge problem. You as an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, as a business owner, small business owner, doesn't matter. You've got this idea. You took this path to build something great. Now, along this path, along this process, emotions comes in your way. Whether you are at the beginning, you're building, or you're already successful, want it or not, you are a human, and if you are a healthy, sane individual, you have to deal with emotions. And because of this huge problem that goes from a mentor to mentee, from one generation to the next generation, from one coach to another coachee, this huge problem, this disease never ends. And then I help everyone around because they try to deal somehow with these emotions. They build something great, relatively great, or on their way, but inside they're almost depressed. They beat themselves, they hate themselves, they're always judging themselves, and they're never fulfilled from the great work, the great, amazing job they've done in their business. Then they say, I tried to do something great. I wanted to build a great future for my family. I wanted to do this great endeavor for my teams, for my business, for my workers. And now what? So they look at themselves from within, and probably you're in the same dark situation when you look within and you follow the rules. You've done everything right. You try to push the emotions aside. You let them, we've got this idea that emotions should not be experienced, and that's for the weak. This is a huge problem, and this problem should end now. And my mission during this masterclass, we're not going to use the whiteboard. We're just going to have a human conversation, and we're going to do some work. I'm going to have some questions. So let's solve this problem. How do we deal with these emotions? Because we are humans. We experience them. We also have to express them somehow. And it's true. There is a thin line between when we need a little bit of support and when is self-pity. So yeah, there are some lines, and we are going to draw them together. So are you ready? My name is Alexander, founder of Explroaself MBA. And today we're going to demystify this topic so that you can have some answers. So I'm going to bring some questions. Maybe you have some questions. Maybe you want to leave a comment in the section below, or maybe you're going to have an unanswered question during this masterclass. Feel free to let in the comment section below, and I will be back to it. And it will be my pleasure and honor to bring my perspective so that you can get the wisdom if you find any in it. And I really hope that you do. So, emotions. First, let's draw the line between experiencing the emotions and expressing the emotions. But let's take a little break. First, before we start to learn about this, what's the difference between experiencing and expressing? And one does not exclude the other. I have a message for you. Wherever you are and whatever is your relationship with emotions, I want to congratulate you, and I want to remind you that there are great people in the world that do want to support you. They do want your service. They do believe in you. And you probably don't know about them because they don't know yet about you and probably haven't advocated enough your service, or probably you have a marketing problem, or just because people don't know yet about you should not make you to believe that people don't need your service or that you're doing something wrong, because the huge amount of work begins when nobody sees it. So I want to congratulate you, and even if I don't know you, we don't know each other, my heart is with you. And I believe in you, that your intention that you have, the purpose, the mission, the vision that you have for your life, for your business, you deserve every bit of it. Every letter that you wrote, if you wrote it, if you didn't, go and write it. I believe in it because it is a human desire to grow. And if you continue to desire, you have everything you need within you. So I hug you, I tap your shoulder, I shake your hand, and I respect you. And even if I don't know you, I will always be happy to know that you're succeeding, even if there is no one that believes in you, or even if there is nobody that doesn't know about what you're doing. But most importantly, I want to remind you to believe in what you're doing, even if your eyes are telling you the otherwise, even if your mind wants to trick you and to tell you that that's not true or that's not happening yet. This is my message for you before we dive into this topic. All right. So what's the difference between experiencing and expressing the emotions? So it's true. We have to learn when to express them. But the problem is that most of the people confuse the processing the emotion with the expressing the emotion. You might get also angry, and that's okay. You might also have an attitude towards the older version of yourself, and that's okay. And now someone is watching and saying, what is this bull stuff? We have to be men. We have to be men up and do what we're supposed to do, where we have to accomplish the mission. And that's what we're here to create, a better future for our family, or for your partner, and for yourself, and for the community around you. What's the problem? Since when feeling something stops us from accomplishing the mission that we have for ourselves? Now, when we start to suppress the emotions that we feel, we start to beat ourselves. We start to use these baseball bat, and we start to beat ourselves because we're not good enough, because we should have been faster. And I know how it is at the beginning, or especially after every failure, and there are many. If you're in the first or second attempt to build your business, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. How hard it is to stand and to not bend under the doubts. And that's absolutely necessary. But what if you could be 100 times more powerful if you would allow yourself, if you did allow yourself to experience those emotions? If nature wanted to create a better fish, would have added one more eye to that fish? More wings to a bird? No. The evolution process, if it goes amazing. If God wanted to create a better man, could God create a man without emotions so that would have been a better version of who we are? That's huge, big nonsense. We are complete within. You are complete within. And the first step is to put aside this nonsense that the emotions should not have place in your life. If you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, if you are at the beginning, you're at the middle, even if you are extremely successful and you haven't learned how to manage those emotions. Because the problem is, or my question to you is, what is it harder to manage? A soft emotion that we're not supposed to express or to show? Or is it hard to control your anger? Is it hard to control your impulsivity, being impulsive? Or you're holding this grudge against someone? What's harder? A harder emotion, a raw emotion, or a soft emotion? So, you know what's the interesting fact is that those which are advocating this theory that emotions should not have place in our lives as a business owners or entrepreneurs, creator, coaches, where if you offer a service and you deal with people, then the theory is you should not have these problems with the emotions. It's just business. All right. Why don't you start to control the other side of the emotions? Being impulsive, being constantly negative, criticizing yourself, doubting yourself, blaming others, blaming yourself. Why don't you start with that if you are so stoic? So then you can talk to me about what's the healthy relationship with a softer emotion. So man, if you are watching this video until this minute now, I know that you are not in the best place right now. You're in a dark place, probably not too dark, a little dark, where you're wondering, man, what am I doing? Am I doing everything right or not? Should I continue or not? Because seemingly I do everything right, but it's hard. And nobody understands me. Nobody supports me. And there are so many, it's a very often phenomenon from my experience. It's been 10 years I lead people and I use emotion. Think about it. And when we start to let these emotions, or we start to suppress them, we run away from them, we harden ourselves. We harden ourselves and we become like this wood or this piece of plastic, iron. All right, good. Nice. Question. Is your business growing because of the business or because of the people that you have in your business? People. Humans. There we go. Even if you do have systems and processes probably, and if you don't, then you should have business systems and processes in your business. So process as many as possible. The process might go by itself, but you have a system. Who does manage the system? Who has built that system? Who does adjust that system? Humans. People again. Are your customers aliens or, let me guess, people? All right. So we are people. You're a human. I'm a human. We deal with human all over the place in our business. It's for humans. Humans are created with emotions. Then we say, no, we have to take this away. Don't you think this is unhealthy? Because if we start to convince ourselves that we don't have the right to feel, to experience that emotion, and even to express that, probably are not ready yet. But if you think that's not your birthright to experience them, you've got a problem and you create many other problems by considering this nonsense as not a problem. We're considering it as normal. And this problem creates even more problems. What does it mean? That you start somehow, you're beating yourself, but through stress and you're almost dying, but somehow you get through. Congratulations. Then at the first employee or the first man, second person, third, fifth, 10th person that you have in your team, how do you manage them? The way you manage yourself. And the way you're treating yourself, that's how you're going to treat your team. And the way you're going to treat your team, that's how your team is going to treat you. Now you are dreaming about a dream team, but you treat them the way you treat yourself. And if the way you treat yourself is beating yourself, criticizing and hating, I doubt that's going to happen. People are going to steal from you. They're going to lie to you. And you're going to attract a bunch of other people who also treat themselves the same way you treat yourself. And it's going to be a war, a fight within that company if it survives. You see, I've got emotional. Now, is this going is going to stand in my way of accomplishing my mission? Hell no. Absolutely not. Now, let's go to the expression. When the mind comes in the game, then the mind starts to play tricks on you and on me. And the mind says, if you express a little bit of emotion, if you show a soft side of yourself, people are going to beat you. People are going to eat you. And nobody's going to respect you. We don't do that. All right. I'm asking yourself, especially if you are a man. We have this theory, you have to be man and man up. Okay. All of them sooner or later are going to come to me or to somebody else that is going to help them to get out of that hole in which they've got themselves. Why is that so? Take your bro and say, man, let's go for a gym session, not for a drink. Let's go for a walk, for a gym session together. Bro, look, I'm in a dark spot. It's hard. It's hard, and I start to doubt myself, and I'm questioning many other things, and it's just hard. And we're lucky to have someone in our lives like this. Oh, wait a second. You would like to have someone like this in your life. Maybe it's your brother. Maybe it's your partner. Maybe it's your cousin. Maybe you have nobody. I remember myself when I had nobody with whom I could express my emotions. And from where I come, people around were very good at not showing the soft side of themselves, but they were not good at managing their anger. And they were advocating being stoic. It's a huge nonsense. Start with the harder. Why do you fake this by hiding some vulnerability which leads to trust? But then you can't hold your pants together when things are raw. You want to show some stoicism? Start from there. So you would like to have someone like this in your life, someone that supports you no matter what. That is a healthy need, to have someone to support you, to just be there with you, humanly, even if that person doesn't understand in what kind of niche you are or business you are, even if, doesn't matter. Support, it's not competence. Support is human. It's a different language than business. And you are human. So let's look now. We have the need from someone to support ourselves, someone that would be there for us. Sometimes we don't, and that should make us better leaders. Why do I mean by that? Because of the fact that you didn't have someone to support you or to mentor you. Now you can become that mentor, that coach, that supporter for someone else. Why do we become even harder, even more pushy? A quick note here. Another nonsense. To push, it's good someone that push myself out of my comfort zone. Why do you push? If you are a great leader, why don't you lead through inspiration? Not through motivating only by pushing and kicking. That's not the only way. That should stop. A powerful question will move the mountains. A little bit of faith in someone will change their lives in a split of a second. We don't always need to kick and push. Because again, another nonsense. From one side, we have to be great leaders. Lead. I know individuals, probably also you've seen too. But from the other side, push. Well, you say the managers, they just do the thing, but the leaders, they have to what? To lead and inspire. So that's where the nonsense comes in again. If you are a great leader, why do you need to push? The push happens within if you are a great leader and you make that thing to happen, that phenomenon in the hearts and in the minds of those of who you do lead. And do not forget that those who are advocating this thing, they become successful by pushing and yelling and dehumanizing those who they do help. The others also, they avoid the healthy, natural way of the nature of a human being. They sell that aspect of the human side. They sell it for the temporary, short-term success. And then you shove that success in a place because you're bored out, depressed, and you're questioning the meaning of your life. So it requires wisdom to know how to express your emotions and when to express your emotions. The question is not about should I suppress, should I not feel them? The question is how and when. Of course, we can go into with whom and how much. But we have to draw a line between experiencing and expressing. Now, there is much more to it. For example, experiencing anger, something doesn't go your way, you're frustrated, you're stressed, you get angry. Probably is missing something in your mindset. And here at Explroaself MBA Mindset Business Academy, the 4 pillars of our academy is mindset, leadership, self-mastery, and business strategy. So we put these 4 together: self-mastery, mindset, business strategy, and leadership together. We don't have to improve the human being. We have to start to observe, to learn how the human nature works, is made, to embrace it and to lead it with greatness. So the line stays between experiencing and expressing. And we have to absolutely not consider as something devilish or evil, the experiencing the emotion. Of course, if an emotion is constantly arising again and again, then we have to go a little bit in the mindset. Maybe there is a belief, maybe there is a conviction, maybe there is a trigger, maybe there is a memory that you are not aware of and is constantly triggering this process. So that we don't have to invest a ton of energy and self-beating by stopping us from expressing those emotions, because it requires energy. But if you train yourself and learn yourself, why is this need so intensive of experiencing these kind of emotions, and it's overwhelming, then it distracts you and sucks your energy because you're working on it. You're constantly staying on guard of not expressing so you don't hurt others. At least that, or even worse, you start to bring all this load of bad stuff onto others. That's an even worse thing. You're traumatized. You haven't solved your mindset, haven't solved a little bit your inner self, and then you fight experiencing, you fake it, then you express, then you explode, and then you implode, and then explode, and then you bring everything on others as well. And then you're wondering why my team is not like their team, why my company doesn't grow, why people don't listen to me, why people don't trust me, why people don't follow me. Well, mirror, welcome. Not only the physical mirror, but also the spiritual mirror. So if you draw this line between experiencing and you start to experience it, to allow it yourself to feel, then you can start to learn about their origins, so that you can start to ask yourself, how often do I feel the need to experience, so that you can work on it. So then you can work on the expressing, or even better, the expressing starts to be much more balanced. So then you can choose consciously when to use your emotions and when to not. Through freedom, through power, and not feeling it as an abuse on your behavior, as your mind abused of yourself by using some idiotic concepts from outside. And then your brain is beating you, because then when the emotion is not controlled and we don't know where does it come from, and we start to suppress everything and to fake it, sooner or later that's going to explode. And forget about having a healthy expression way with your team, with yourself, so that you can make faster decisions, better decisions for your business, so that you can unlock your growth mindset for your business when you start to deal with these emotions and when you start to learn them. But it's a process. So if you're at the beginning, my first recommendation to you, suggestion is, just stop beating yourself up for not being the way you know you can become. If you know that you can become a developed and worked out version of who you are, means that you already are. And learning how your mind works, and quick reminder, go to Explroaself MBA.com and you can find a program, Hack Your Mind Before It Hacks You, so that you can start to learn the basics. If you already know a little bit about the basics, about the mind and the emotions, how to process your emotions, but you want to go a little bit deeper, there's another program, The Inner Alchemy. So this is the next program. You already know a bit what are emotions, what's a trigger, what's a strategy, what's a mind, what's a thought, what's a plan. If you know this, go to Inner Alchemy. If you need a full program that's going to be a 3 months transformational program, 12 modules, and 5 hours, me and you, so that we can work and we can go through all the questions. I can assist you. I can be there for you and come up with different questions, different perspectives, so that you can change the whole process, but also to know how to build new processes, new systems in your mind, so then you can have a reflection of them in your business. And that's where it begins and there where it ends. Processing the emotions in a healthy way, and stop listening to those which are telling you that you have to become a stone or robotic. You can be that by choice. So then don't feel it as a burden or as a mutilation of who you are. For that, you need to know where those emotions are coming, those emotions which are most often arising in your behavior, in your heart, in your mind, so that you can cure a little bit to heal that origin. So then you can choose between when to express, how to express, but also to experience them. Because there is nothing more powerful than having an emotional door open with your customers in a certain amount. Absolutely. Let's not exaggerate into that. But people are people. And if you want to build an audience, if you want to connect with people, then you have to open your heart and tell about what you believe, what you stand for. That requires a little bit of emotional engagement so that people can know you, your true self, so they can connect to you, they can follow you, they can trust you. And we build trust by vulnerability. And when we express how do we feel, what do we believe, and how have we come to these kind of conclusions, that's what connects us. So you are great. You are enough. Stop beating yourself for not being yet, yet. You are. And suppressing emotions is not going to help. But then you can choose and learn how much of the emotions you want to let into one aspect of your life, of your business, and how much of them you want to let or not to let in other aspects of your business. And that is wisdom, but it starts with knowledge. All right, so if this was useful for you and maybe you have another question, then leave it in the comment section below. I'll be honored to answer. Maybe you want to share this with someone which you know that they're very hard on themselves and they're beating themselves and they're ambitious. They want to achieve great things, but they forget to believe in themselves because they listen too much to other ideas which are telling that humans should not experience emotions, and that led to this transformation into a robotic experience and a confusion between should I experience, should I express, should I not, and maybe I'm not good enough, because that's where most of the time it ends. And that's not the place you deserve to be. For which I wish you all the best, be blessed, and we'll see each other in the next masterclass. Take care, and much success. Bye-bye.